pages. Okay, so today's gonna be a world clock. This is the third time recording it because I was kind of stupid the previous times. I forgot to change the screen because it makes things something more professional. Got my tea here, and I'm just doing a simple video. This is quite an old series I started, and it's just basically me trying little things out and showing you guys cool little things. And it's a really nice way to start beginning, because I believe the best way to begin is not rather to learn, but rather to try. So you should always be building something, and that's the best way to learn. Especially for C#. C++ is a bit different. Guys, this is a C# tutorial, so Unity script. If you do want Unity script, just please send the comment section below, and I will convert the scripts for you, though it's going to just be way much hassle for you, so I honestly suggest not to. Also, I don't really know Unity script very well because I haven't used it in like 2 years. No, a year and a half. Yeah, year and a half. And it's very different from Java. Or JavaScript, whatever it's called. It's very different from Java. But guys, I should be able to convert it for you guys pretty easily. Okay, it's 5.0, but don't worry, your version won't be 5.0 if you download it for the website. It's no difference. It'll work the exact same. I just rather the old networking system than the new one, so that's why I'm on 5.0, because a few of my projects require the old networking system, so I haven't required a new one yet. So obviously, I should have probably downloaded it for this tutorial, but YOLO. Okay, so you're going to click projects and you're going to click new project. You're going to name your project. It can be world clock. Select where its project can be. For example, documents. Select whether or not you went 2D or 3D. Select your assets. Okay, one big thing I want to do you guys about is, oh, this looks really nice. I haven't actually looked at the new one because I haven't used it for ages. This looks really nice. Okay, guys, is whether or not you shouldn't really build this on its own, because while it's fine on its own, it's better to be put in your game. So what games are useful for saying like this is saying like XCOM, because it's just kind of gonna have the same XCOM clock thing. It's also going to have a actual moving clock, which is going to be really, really cool. That's really easy to do, by the way, so it should be really easy. It's just about changing the rotations. Other than that, it's going to be pretty cool, and we're also going to be able to influence how fast time goes by, and we're also going to be able to have a day, month, year with leap years, with months that you can change. Oh, well, actually in leap year I want 380 days, and in non-leap year I only want 300. So you can change those times. You can remove leap years completely by just returning something. It's so easy. It's super easy to set up. You can even change how many months in a year. It's completely up to you. So while I'm going to be building it for the Earth standard, let's say you want in your world of Arcadia, you want 18 months with, you know, marmalade, I don't know, marmalade French as the second month, I don't know. Computer screens the third, I don't know. Guys, you can set their own. I'm also going to show you how this can influence things like having a tech upgrade. For example, let's say every second you want to increase how much, let's say you got like a XCOM, you know, every few seconds you get some research, and you know, maybe it takes 10 days to complete your research project. How do you do something like that? I'll show you. It's very simple, very easy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But guys, let's begin. So we're going to click create project. Now as it's creating, I'm just going to quickly do something to switch my screens. I really should have moved that before I did that. Well, guys, sorry for breaking all you guys' eyes. Okay, we're gonna not press Control S. I do it every time. So see, this is your viewpoint. If you've never seen Unity before, I suggest you try out a beginner tutorial, but I will go over very beginner stuff. Basically, this is your viewpoint. I don't know why if you've never played Unity before you'll be studying this video, but apparently you maybe are. Okay, guys, so it's your viewpoint. You can obviously control it by pressing middle mouse button if you didn't know that, and obviously your right mouse button does that. Left click is select. My dog's like snoring, it's really cute. It's like killing me. Maybe you can hear that, it's like really gorgeous. She's got like a little head on like a little windowsill and she's just snoring away. It's really gorgeous. I'll be a bit quieter so I sleep. Okay. If you've come from Unreal Engine, there's a few big differences, or if you're used to Blender. As you see, Unity does something called a, is it left-handed? I believe it is. It's something essentially that X is left, Z is kind of that way, so I'll show you. If you look at this, no. There we go. There we go. So as you see on the screen, that's kind of what it is. So I'll just do it like this way. So as you see, X is this way. Oh, there we go. That's what you want. See this? X is this way. So X is length. Y, Z, sorry. X is length, Z is width, and Y is height. That is common, maybe, maybe not, right? For you, it depends. So if I change my Y, it's going to change how high my thing is, as you can see. If I change my Z, it's going to change how back it is. Right? Same with everything else. So rotation, you know, the Y angle is going to change, make it move like around like that. That's Y. The X is going to make it move down and up. Oops. And the Z is going to obviously make it move kind of like, it's kind of confusing how to explain it, but essentially it kind of moves like that. Yeah, so there we go. Like that. No, that's not C, that's C. Oh, it kind of like moves like 90 degrees kind of thing. So you can kind of see it. Guys, okay. I really shouldn't go into this stuff like in this much depth. I'm sorry if this is way too much. Okay, so you're going to right click. You're going to create UI, canvas. This is what your player sees. You can press 2D mode, and while your game's not going to be rendered in 2D mode, by the way, right? If you select 3D as options, it'll be rendered in 3D. If you want to change them, you click project settings. I think quality. Damn it, I always forget this. No, it's graphics. Should be graphics. Nope, it's not. Where is it? Editor, 3D. That would make it render in 2D. That will make it render in 3D. There's no difference between the two. I know I'll keep pressing Ctrl S. I'll have to create a scene very soon. How about we just do it now? You can press this button here if it's not automatically selected. What this button will do is this button will allow you to basically just do, instead of like this, you can actually change the object from out here. So it's a lot better to change and move. That's just doing a bit laggy on the other screen. Tell me if it is, and I'll fix that. You're going to click Pixel Perfect. That basically just means that every pixel has to be in the perfect position, and it just means it's going to make things look a bit nicer. Okay, everyone will do this, by the way, so if you think you're not gonna, don't fool yourself. Guys, so this is our event system. This will handle every time you click on the screen, whether or not you touch it using a iPad, iPod, whether or not you click it on the screen, whether or not you have touch screen, regardless, whatever you do, it will activate it and send messages to the canvas saying what parts you clicked, such as buttons, sliders, scroll bars, toggles, so on, input fields. We can create nothing else, but we are going to right click here, just so you can kind of see this. We're going to right click down here and we're going to create a new C# script. Now this new C# script, there we go, I can speak maybe, is going to be called of time. I'll call it Time Manager. I hate calling things Time Manager, but why not? We'll call it Time Manager. By the way, this is very basic, so if you're at intermediate to expert, you probably could figure this out yourself, but maybe if you've never used Unity before, I definitely suggest you still keep watching. Now, while you're looking at this, you may see a few things. You may see something called, you may go, hey, actually, what a lot you do, Unity, when we're gonna build our own, is leap year checker, and you may go to me, actually, no, Unity already has its own. Yes, Unity does have its own, but we want to reduce the amount of dependencies we have in Unity. For example, if they change something, it doesn't mean we need to change our code. Right? Our code's always going to work. That's for one reason. For the next reason, it's going to allow you guys to learn a bit easier. It's going to make you guys know a few more things. And it's going to allow you guys to change what you want, such as add more leap years in. Or not so much add more leap years in, as other things. So regardless, let's begin. I've turned down my brightness. Okay, so we have a few things. Now, Oh wait, did I put this in separate class? Yeah, I did. Okay, so we're gonna have a class is very similar to many other things in any object-oriented thing. Our class is essentially, it's like a group of students, you can imagine us, and inside that group of students we can have functions, and that's what lessons the class can teach. And the variables are like each of its students. That's how you can think of it. And classes can interact, join. For example, one class lesson may require another class lesson to be complete for some reason, so on. I know it's kind of rudimentary. That's a good way to start. So if I start coughing a bit this episode, I haven't really done a lot of talking for the last few days, so my voice is still a bit hoarse. For not really talking. Okay, I know it sounds weird, but it is. So we're going to have a public class here. As this is going to be called week. We're going to call it week. So these little braces here, they're called, or you could call them brackets, whatever you want to call them, essentially state that everything in here belongs to the class week. Everything in here belongs to the class time manager. Now week is only really a public class because one thing you will notice is it doesn't inherit, it doesn't have this little thing of mono behavior. Now what this means is that week cannot be attached to an object. While time manager can, as you can see here, this is time manager. While time manager can be attached to object, week can't. Now there's a few things. You can have an own script for this, or you could just include it under here. I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff we're going to be doing in this, but I think we are going to create our own script. So we're just going to push that back. I don't know what I'm trying to like think of how I'm going to like organize this for you guys. So I think I'm just going to create a new script. So before we do this, we'll just save and let's call this default. I'm sorry this is going to be a bit fast, but all you want to do is just default scene, and then we'll create a new script called week. We can just call it week, or maybe time format. That's a really good name actually. I like time format. If I actually double clicked it, there we go. And because we changed the name, now we go change the name here, right? Because these names always have to match. If it didn't match, it will give you an error. So one thing you'll notice is this thing is mono behavior, but the fact is this isn't going to be attached to an object. This is just going to hold a bunch of new types. Because in Unity and in many object-oriented languages, in C# I should say, there's a few types such as Boolean, which is true or false, such as integer, such as double or float, and such as many other things. So there's many, many, many different ones, all with their own unique properties. Yes, includes double. Good, I'm going to be using that. So, I've just been those in C++, so if I'm still in a bit of a C++ mindset, just give me a bit of slack, sorry. So, let's begin. Stop wasting your time. So, time format's going to have a few things. It's going to have an enum. Let's go down to where we actually have them. Here we go. A public enum. This is going to be called weekdays. Right? Very simple. And this is going to have a few weekdays. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Very, very simple. Oh, I've got to have a comma. You could have a comma between each one. And this means is that essentially we can call Sunday. So we could say, hey, we want a weekday, and this can be called our current day. Right, this is just for example. And this is equal to weekdays dot Monday. So our current day is Monday, or today's our current day is actually Friday. So on. So, if I sound a bit more perky, it's because I've drunk a lot of coffee this morning. Sorry. Because I had to get well to make at least one video today. See if I can maybe make two. We're going to have enough public enum. Could have a month. Because Well, yes, we could respond our month as the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd. We want to do something like January, February, March, April, May, June, July, all that stuff. January. And I will probably spell half these wrong. My spelling skill is not up to scratch. I can code really well, and I'm really good at maths, but not at freaking English. If only there was, instead of English, if there was C# as a language. Or like actually C++. And if you guys ain't, C# is a really good language to start with, but it's also kind of really hard to move from C# to C++, so just keep that in mind. But it's really easy to move from C# to Java, so. That's fine. That's fine. So, going to put answer on those brackets. So under our time manager, we can have a few things. We want to have, okay, scroll all the way back up. Yes, we want our, yes, our public double. Some of you had never seen something called double. A double is the exact same as a float. And you go, well, why is it called double? Well, because it's how the precision with it works. And with us, precision's important. Because we may lose a few seconds if precision wasn't. It shouldn't be too bad, because most likely our current time is just going to be plus 1 second. But if you plus, for example, let's say you plus 0.0039 seconds, then there could be problems, because maybe how the precision works, it may cut part of that off. So what a double is essentially meaning is a float can hold 7 decimals. That's not a lot. A double can hold about double that, about 14. That's why it's called a double. So can hold about 14 decimals. Right? They can hold more than that, but anything more than that will change constantly. Right? It won't be 100% accurate because it can't really contain that many. Then we have a public weekday time format. Sorry. Dot weekdays. Dot. Oh yeah, this is going to be called our current day. We're just going to have another one. Oh, so dot month. Create our current month. Then we have to do something called using system dot. Oh, is it link? Yes, and using system. Because we're going to say called a public time span. I believe a public time span comes under system, but system link I believe is also going to be useful. And system.collections.generic is also useful. I think that those, the system should always come with this many. It should always come with those 4, these 5 every time because they're the most useful. There's a few other ones that are useful too. And it's going to be called our old time span. It's going to check how much time has actually changed, as well as other stuff. Yes, because we make a new time span every time. Then we're going to make a public integer, which is going to be a year. We should place a current year, which is 2015. And an integer called years past, which is equal to 0. This is just for those who want to count how many years have actually passed. We could also have how much time has passed. Oh, so you're going to use Unity engine.ui. Now what this will allow us to do is, this is our text component. This is what we're going to be writing to. Put this here. So this is going to be what, so we're going to say, hey, your text, right, text is going to be our output text. Maybe we'll call it output text. Alright, this is where we're going to be outputting our data. We're about 20 minutes in. We can push out a little bit more, because I want to get something going for you guys, maybe. So we want a void start. A void function is just basically something that returns nothing. A function always should return something, but voids don't, and that's what voids are great for. Our current time. So whenever we start the application, our current time is going to be equal to double of O time span dot total seconds. Because our current time is going to be a bit different. We're running everything in seconds, and you may go, wait, why are we running everything in seconds? Shouldn't we running everything elsewhere? Not in seconds, if you kind of get what I'm saying. We're running everything in seconds instead of something like days, is because, sure, we could get total days, and we could get 5.3 days, but we want the hours. And converting 5.3 days to hours, seconds, minutes is a lot harder than converting seconds to days, so pretty easy that way. Okay, current month is equal to week date, so day of week, oh yeah, January. Oh, current month is equal to what's that called again? I cannot remember. Oh, month. Dot. Month. To January. Current day is equal to, I think we're going to say Monday. It's very important that, yes, you can set it to your own time, but then things can be inaccurate, because if the user logs back in, obviously this point, by the way, the start function, even though it happens every time, you would have like a storage feature that goes, hey, check this, storage, and oh yes, we actually do have a time record for the save, so we will set it. Then we also have something called display date. Display date is equal to 0, or it doesn't need to be, but we will. Then we say display date is equal to 1. Now what's display date? Well, yes, Monday is the first, and yes, obviously that's the first, but not all months start on Monday. Some months start on Thursday, some months start on Wednesday. So we can't run it off what day we're in. We actually ask to have a display date that displays what day we're on. That's really useful. It's really good. Okay, we have actually got a pretty long piece that will do that, and that's not what we want by now, because that will return everything that we need. So we're going to do that next episode. This episode, we're just going to do a few other things, such as a public boolean saying, hey, is leap year? And here we need an integer for a year that we're going to check. So, what you may notice here is you may notice, hey, wait, you did something differently. 1, you didn't call this a void. 2, it's boolean, and it's got these weird braces, and it's got a function leap. Yes, because while void returns null, we can also have functions that return something, such as this function will return a true or false statement to say whether or not the current year is a leap year. Very, very useful. Since, sure, it's a very short equation. I can't remember what it is. What is it? Here it is. Sure, it's a very short equation, but it's still decently long. It's 3 or 4 lines or something, right? I don't know. Alright. And I'm just going to write this, and then I'll show you it. One thing you may notice is that I'm returning this statement. Whenever you return something that has these double equal signs, or this, basically whenever you return a statement that's in brackets and it's got these kind of equal signs, so it's saying, hey, does this thing equal another thing, it will always return true or false. So that usually, this would be the same as saying, if this, return true, else return false. Same thing, but we can do it in a single line. So for you guys, you may want to write it like this: return true, else return false. Like this. That's the exact same thing. There's no difference. So if you want to write it like that, that's fine. But I'll just do it as a single function, right? It makes it a bit easier. Makes it a bit easier to read, and it's fine. So let me go through this. What's this function here? Well, this function is actually something called a modulus, or basically remainder. So remember in primary school maths how you'd go, well, what's 10 divided by 5? Well, you go, how many 5s fit in 10? Or 2, and there's none left over. Okay, let's go 13 divided by 5. Well, that's still 2, but there's 3 left over. So it's 2 remainder 3. Well, this function returns the remainder. So when we're checking if something is divisible by 4 equals 0, that means if we get our year and we divide it by 4, that means, and it equals 0, that means it's like a year 2000. It's like the year 4, the year 8, the year 12. It means it's equally divisible by 4. If you go any number divisible by this equals 0, that means essentially the statement is saying if our year is divisible by 4 and there's no remainder left, aka if year is equally divisible by 4 and our year is equally divisible by 400 or not equally divisible by 100. This is a bit difficult, but I'll explain it. So there's a few terms for leap years. One, the leap year always has to be divisible by 4. That's 100% certain. And that's if next, the leap year can't be divisible by 100. Pretty big. However, it can be divisible by 400. Yeah. It's a little confusing. Basically, the 400 was added pretty recently. I think it was 2002 that had that 400 rule. Or no, it was 2000. I think it was 2000 that had the 400 rule. And that was pretty recently added, and basically means that obviously it's divisible by 4. As you can see here, because 4 goes equally into 400, but it's also divisible by 100. So it's kind of weird, but basically just that's the conversion. I'm going to finish off the episode pretty soon. How we just think of get days a month. This is a public. I don't know why it's static. It couldn't just be integer. Oh, I think it has to be static. Yeah, it does. I've been doing way too much C++. Because remember in certain years, difference. Okay. So there's a few differences here. We have something called our get days a month. And you may go, this is weird. This is weird, right? Why are they both static? Well, static basically states that it does not belong to the script as much as it belongs to the type, which essentially means that do you know how you can access variables, right, by getting a copy of that script? So, for example, let's say I dragged in a copy, right? So I had this here, and I had this copy here. Oh, dragging the right one. Here we go. And let's say I had something called time format, right? Like a field, right? Because you can, obviously. and maybe I had to drag in my time format, like an object on the scene, or let's say I had HP as a variable, right, on a monster. So whenever I attacked that monster, I had to access the HP and then -1. Well, yes, you can do that because each monster's HP is different, but static says that, well, once one HP is changed, all the rest change with it. For example, let's say you had a monster spawning point. Regardless of who your monster is, you want all of them, let's say, to spawn at a specific point. Even that's probably not what you want. Let's just say they all spawn at a specific point always. Well, then that's got to be static, because that has to always apply to every monster. So instead of having to go whenever a monster spawns and try to find it, you can just make it static. Static variables aren't always good, but they're quite good for these little functions here that are quite nice. So, regardless, we're going to do something called a switch case. No more switches. Basically, a switch is an if and else statement. We're going to switch our month, and what this basically means is this is saying if month is equal to month dot January, right, then do this. Else, if month does this, so on, right? If month equals this. That's all this is doing, right? There's no difference, but it uses a thing called case. And case is essentially saying if it equals January, then do this. Then return 31, because it's 31 days in January. I have, luckily, a little thing here. And we're going to make things a little bit more complex, just to make them easier, right? Month dot January, March, May. So you always have to do that colon. July, August. I'm really bad at this stuff. October and December. Okay. And December. So, and then we can say, oh, return 31. Now, one thing you will notice is that, wait, there's some weird with this. Yeah, that will fix that. Okay, one thing you'll notice really weird with this is that, this episode's going to go for a bit longer, I find that, is that these cases, normally, if you know anything about switch cases, is that each case has to have their own one. So this one has to say, return this. Well, if you do it this way, then what will happen is this one will pass to here, which will pass to here, and it will just keep passing down until it stops. They kind of fall through. Great, that's what we want. But however, you may also notice something called a break. Now, whenever you finish a case, to prevent them to keep falling through, you have to break the case, which basically means that once we find our month, there's no need for us to check the other months, because our month can only equal one of them at each time. So then we do something called a break, which means that essentially, what it does is it just kind of quits out of this statement and goes from here. So it will keep going from here, kind of going down lines and doing each of the other stuff. However, return is the exact same as a break. But a return quits the function instead of just quitting the case. So that's fine. Next we need something called our February case. And in February it's a bit different. We're going to do an if statement here. If is leap year of year. This, you go, well, why do we ask for year here? Because obviously we need our year. And we don't have access to the time manager year. So we actually need to get the time manager to give us the year. We're going to return 29, else return 28. We don't actually need these. And I may know it sounds weird, but if you're only doing one line of code, you don't need the little brackets. They're only for 2 or above. So if you're doing 2 lines here, have the brackets. Okay. 29, 28. And we have a few other cases that we need to do. Such as April, June, September, and November, which all return 30. There's only 4 there compared to 7. So there's 7, 8, 12. So we've got all the days. Now, something else we need something called a default. This essentially means if all the above don't work, then there's an error, right? There's a really big error. Or we can send a debug.log. We can say, month not recognized. Maybe you add a new month and you forgot to, yes, and you forgot to update this. But basically, month not recognized. We're going to turn 0. What that will mean is it will quickly, instantly jump over the month. It will skip the month instantly. We could return 1, but it's going to return 0, which should instantly turn to the next month. So it should instantly maybe fix your problems. But you will get a debug log. Maybe we could do a warning. Say, hey, your month is not recognized. That way you can see it a bit easier. That's it. You've just done you've just done 2 return functions that allow you to get any day in the month and to determine whether or not the year's a leap year. That's pretty good. Next time, we're going to continue and we're going to be building the actual script to allow time to fast forward and to go back and to allow time to actually influence the clock. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you guys next time.